Yep. Evening, y'all. How's it going? Welcome to another Lockdown Live chat. As usual, joined with my notorious co-host, the purveyor of all things Draconia Media, actually the purveyors today of all things Draconia Media. Today we're joined not only with Mr. Alec Larsen, but Mrs. Larsen in the form of vocalist and shredder connoisseur, Mrs. Chelsea Larsen of Omentum and Draconia Media. A whole bunch of stuff. How's it going, guys? Welcome.
Thank you. Good, thanks, and you?
All right. Things have been a little bit crazy. Do have to firstly apologize for last week. I was a little bit off the radar, but we actually, in fact, did have a lockdown chat last week with Derek of Devil Speak, so we will include that in the description below, so go give that a check. Awesome. Definitely some real talk there. But yeah, how's it going in the Larsen house, guys? How are things there?
It's good. We moved into our place. It's been 2 months already. So we're getting settled in. It's really, really awesome. And yeah, no, we're good, working hard, but making time for each other and music and all that. So no, we're good.
Nice. Yeah, I guess like monitoring how these lockdown chats have been going with Alec and I kind of gives you a little bit of a lowdown on how this conversation's going to go down. So let's dig right deep into it. Okay. It's been about a year, Chelsea, since we've had you on. So at that point, Omentum was rather quiet, like slightly pre-pandemic, and then obviously the pandemic hit and full-blown nothingness pretty much ensued. With that in mind, this has obviously stalled a little bit of creativity in terms of a lot of local bands, especially the more bands such as Omentum, who are more focused on the live performance. So how things been generally in the camp, and how's the whole writing process been in general there?
Yeah, so sadly, Simon, who's our main songwriter and the other bassist, has immigrated. I'm very happy for him, but sad for us because obviously he's a good oak. So for now, I wouldn't say Omentum's done. I'd say Omentum's kind of in limbo. We're kind of just seeing how things go. And naturally with COVID, we're a little bit hesitant on getting back on stage and amongst people again. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But in terms of creativity, I mean, Alec, he has plenty of projects. So I've never quite stepped away from that creativity because it's always flowing in this household. But it's given me a chance to focus more on my vocals, which is something that I'm really trying to do more with. But yeah, no, we'll see how it goes. I mean, maybe if things get better, I mean, it's looking like things are getting better in terms of, level 1 and, so we'll see. Maybe in the next year or so, maybe Omentum will be back. If not, maybe there'll be something new.
Well, that was a pretty short chat. Stay tuned next week. Wait, no, I'm just kidding. Actually, let's actually just let's just touch a little bit on the name Omentum. For anybody that actually might not know the name and the origin, Alec, maybe you can kind of just give us a little bit of a history around the name and the theme and all of that good stuff around the band.
So Omentum is momentum without the M. No, I'm just kidding. The Omentum is a part of your stomach lining. It's yellow and fatty and it looks pretty gross. And the only reason I know about this was at the time we were searching for a band name. My mom is a vet, and at the time we were searching for a band name, she mentioned something about a case involving the Omentum, and I was like, that is the band name. Because I mean, even though we're comedic and whatnot, we still got that brutality. So why not do the whole slam sort of naming scheme, which is take a medical term.
At least it's still relatively tame.
Yeah.
There's some disgusting names out there.
Definitely. I mean, I guess also if you think of like the tone of the word Omentum and being kind of a bass-driven live band, it kind of adds to the the low end sound. So I don't know, it definitely kind of works with the vibe there. It's such an interesting style of band, but definitely like focus more on the live element because you can really get like the feel of the music then, an actual like vibe of the all bass type influence. But yeah, I guess keeping with the bass tone going, what about you, Chelsea? Are you still having a chance to lift up the bass now and again, slap the bass, so to speak?
So just to go slightly dark for a second, my dad passed away last year. And he was a bassist back in the day. I've actually got his bass here. Since he passed away, I haven't really picked up my bass in a while. That was kind of the thing that we shared together. It's one of those things where when I'm ready, people will know because I'll definitely come back harder. But it's one of those things, it's time. I've picked up my dad's bass and kind of strummed here and there, and then it just gets to that point where I'm like, okay, I've had enough for now. Let's put that away, give it some time. So yeah, in terms of playing bass, it's been a bit long, since I properly played it. But that being said, it's given me a chance to really, like I mentioned earlier, focus on my vocals, and that I'm having a hell of a lot of fun with. It's probably gonna come up just now, but with Alec and his so many projects, there's always a chance for me to get involved there. So yeah, no, it's given me a new chance to do something different with my music, so focus more on my vocals, which is something I really, really want to build up on.
Actually, let's continue with that, because that actually was a follow-up, and again, my condolences for your father. My congratulations and mazel tov as well, because you guys in fact did tie the knot last year also, so no one can say that this pandemic hasn't brought a wave of emotions your way. So
yeah, it's been quite intense, to be honest. But the nice thing is we actually got married on his birthday. So yeah, we're coming up for our 1-year wedding anniversary on the 12th. So it's just around the corner already.
How crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, pulling things back to the vocals, how have you been maintaining your vocals like during this period of nothingness? I mean, like, are you going through old material that you guys were working on? Like, I know you mentioned a while back about a few covers that you were working on. So yeah, how has the whole growling maintenance been going?
It's been good. Like I said, when you live with Alec, there's always an opportunity. So yeah, we recently did a song for Hilliker, the Hunting Hominids reboot. I just said to Alec, if we're going to redo that song, I want more parts. And I think that's also the benefit of being the wife. I can kind of be like, I want this. So yeah, but luckily, driving to and from work or whatever, I'll be blasting something, and I'm pretty sure other motorists look at me like, what on earth is going on in that car? Because I'll be blasting and just like basically growling along. So, I've maintained it in that sense. And, I'm looking to do more covers with us having moved recently and everything. The whole like last year's been a bit of a blur. But I'm definitely looking to get my YouTube channel up and running properly. I've got a YouTube channel, Chelsea Larsen, but it's not like heavily music focused. I want to have like a cool intro, like riff sort of thing. So I want to really make it like a proper thing, and I want to do more covers. I've got a monomath on the cards, which is for me very big shoes to fill, because Johan Haig is like epic. So I'll try, how I can only do my best. And I also want to cover a Surdus track. I kind of want to do an international band and then do a local band. So I've also got Nerve Zero in the pipeline to cover. Maybe one day I'll do a Slaughter to Prevail, but I'll have to probably summon Satan in order to do that. But yeah, no, it's something that I definitely want to do. And, it's also to find time is quite difficult with work. But yeah, I'm definitely looking to do some more of my own material, you know, so there's a lot to be done. So as soon as I'm ready, you guys will definitely know about it.
Interesting. Maybe Alec can answer this, because obviously a husband and wife, like, partnership as well as like bandmates. How is the writing process generally when you guys, because obviously it's two members of the band that can essentially work on something together. How is the general writing process between you and Chelsea when you guys are working on new material, whether it's Omentum or any of the projects?
So in terms of Omentum, it's very rare that we actually contribute musically. Lyrically, it's always been sort of my baby, but the guy that immigrated, Simon, has always written basically all the music for Omentum. Because I mean, I have so many other projects, so let him have Omentum, let him have Certus, and you know, he's good at what he does, so why add more? And yeah, Omentum's meant to be simple, so that, like, every now and then I'll write a track thinking it'll be good for Omentum, and then it's a little bit too techy, or you know, we play on bass guitars. It can't be fast. It can't, otherwise it just sounds really muddy. But in terms of when we do write together, it's mostly actually only for our dark synth / synthwave project Source Control. And if you check the sort of liner notes on Bandcamp for the EP, it talks about our process where I'll be sitting in Guitar Pro and Chelsea will start humming something with her mouth, saying, "This is."
I'm glad it's my mouth.
Chelsea will start humming something with her mouth, and I'll figure it out and bring it in, or she'll say, you know, it should do dee dee doo. She'll do like voice sort of noises to sort of communicate some of her ideas. So that's kind of how it works. That's basically the only thing we really write together.
For now.
For now, you know. We do have a project in the work, but I won't touch too much on it. But let's just say that the first single was recorded in November last year, and we still to hear the final master of it. So
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed that the guy that does all my mixing, Alan, pulls his finger at some stage.
Yeah, if he's watching this, Alan, we're watching you. Well, Chelsea, you did mention that you featured on the Helica single "Hunting Hominids."
Yeah.
Alec, when you created this track, did you have Chelsea in mind for it initially when you put the riffage together?
No, she bullied her way into the track.
I did not. I named the track, so therefore I claimed rights.
Yeah, basically.
Alec was doing the alliteration, and I was like, why not Hunting Hominids? He was like, that's brilliant. I was like, that's my track. I'm featuring on that one. So I pulled the wife. Well, I was at the time when you wrote the song, I was just your girlfriend. So I pulled the girlfriend card. And then when he was re-recording it, I was like, this is my song. I want more featuring on there, because all the other guests like got a solid piece, you know, and I just had like a little tiny, you know, smidge, and I was like, I want more. I was like, Oliver Twist, please, sir. So no, it was, yeah, I stole that one, and I absolutely love that track, if I do say so myself.
Obviously nobody has heard the final product yet. Slight deviations. Did you push yourself a little bit harder on this, like levels that you didn't think you would have maybe have hit usually?
Yeah, strangely enough, I was quite impressed with myself. I've somehow managed to go lower, you know, in my vocal range, because it's weird. I've only been doing proper harsh vocals since lockdown started, when I did a cover of my Apocalypse. And I listened to that, and I'm still very chuffed with how that came out, you know, being my first full track. cover wise, because I did that one track with Urban Swart. So that was my first track. So when I listened to that and then My Apocalypse, I can already hear how my voice has evolved. And now even more so a year later with Hunting Hominids, I didn't really push, but I just managed to like do it. I don't know how, but I was just very chuffed that it was just lower than normal, because we can't beat around facts. Women's vocal cords are going to be different to men, and men can generally go a lot lower. And I find a lot of female harsh vocalists can have quite a higher pitch in some of their growling. And I've just always wanted to be, part of the boys club and go in the low guttural sort of thing. And yeah, no, I think I had so much fun doing that track. Like when I was done, I'd be like, that came out of me. So no, it was good fun. I can't wait for people to hear the track and the rest of the album.
Yeah, you're definitely surrounded by some quality angry fellows, that's for sure. I guess kind of a question we've been asking all of our guests, and perhaps it's something that even both of you guys can answer. Are there any new bands or any albums that have really grabbed your ear during this pandemic? Perhaps like any new talent that's popped into your mind that's on your current playlists? Anything interesting?
Yeah, so for me, recently we've both started listening to We Butter the Bread with Butter. It's a German band. We call it German party metal because it's one of those things that you listen to and you just kind of start grooving. It's quite embarrassing. They're epic. They remind me of Omentum. I mean, I don't know what the hell they're saying, but I get a gist for what they're saying. It reminds me of Omentum in the sense that they're comedic. So, I mean, they literally have a song where they're growling about their little scooter, like that they drive around at 20 kilometers an hour. It's so funny. So I've been listening to a lot of them. Their album recently just dropped. During lockdown, that's when I discovered Shadow of Intent, Slaughter to Prevail, as well as Lord of the Lost, just to be slightly different. I absolutely love Lord of the Lost. They're very similar to Rammstein with that like industrial sort of sound. I got really heavily into them. And I mean, I've also stayed with a lot of my firm favorites, Powerwolf and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, that's for me. Alec can say if he's discovered anyone else.
Chelsea, I think, pretty much covered them all. I think what's very interesting is she was actually telling me earlier that it's quite weird that her three favorite bands at the moment are all German, but have very different sounds. We Butter the Bread with Butter has like a deathcore, metalcore, dance, dark synth sound. Lord of the Lost is industrial, and Powerwolf is power metal. So it's like they're all from Germany, but very different.
Yeah. Different flavors. Very interesting. Yeah. I guess a trip to Wacken in the near future is in the cards. Definitely worth the mission, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I guess kind of like leading in with that idea. Obviously, this pandemic has brought like about a little bit of devastation around a lot of the South African metal OGs, if you will. A lot of the more grandstanding bands from South Africa have struggled to bounce back without any live performances. But in the interim, obviously omitting Vulvodynia absolutely smashed it globally on their new album. We've seen a lot of new talent actually emerge out of South Africa, like a lot of different genres, a lot of different like bands coming out of every different province. So, I mean, Chelsea, based on that kind of idea and you guys being up in Joburg, a couple of like concerts coming up there also in the next few months, what do you think about all of this, all these new talents, all these new bands, all these new peeps getting into the local metal scene? What do you think the future holds for SA metal with all this new talent emerging?
I think it's fantastic. I think, whilst COVID has caused a lot of devastation, it's kind of forced people to do things again in terms of like unleashing their creativity. So I think that, I mean, Alec has proven right there, you know, with all the stuff that he's churned out recently. And I just think it's so awesome that bands are now, you know, they kind of realize that they don't just have to be a live act. They can do studio work. You can still produce music, even though you can't perform it yet. So I think it's absolutely fantastic. And, you know, I personally haven't attended a live show just yet. Waiting to get my second vaccine and waiting for, you know, things to kind of just still simmer down a little bit. I think, you know, now we're on level 1, people get a little bit too excited, and that's when we get back into the shit. So just giving it a little bit more time. Trust me, I'm itching to get back to a gig. I think my head might fall off if I headbang again. But personally, I think it's epic. And I think a lot of people, you know, the saying is so true, you don't know what you have until it's gone. And I think so many people have kind of just like gone, oh my God, I can't believe, like, I can't go to a metal show. And like the support was a bit before COVID. So I think, well, I hope that going forward, things will pick up. People will kind of be more hungry to support bands, and bands will be hungry to play. So I'm really keen personally to see what these new bands are all about. And I'd say go for it. If you've got the talent to do it, you must do it. So the world is shit enough as is. You know, music is one of those things that we all can kind of agree is magical. So I think it's epic.
Definitely. I mean, I think we can only really hope for like an influx of new, fresh, you know, organizers bringing in different types of concerts. I mean, I know up in Joburg, the whole Johannesburg Death Fest is coming up, and that kind of showcases the South African brutal slamming death scene. And from what I've seen, tickets are basically sold out. So just on the face of it, it seems like maybe, like you say, maybe the people are getting hungry for those live shows again. And, you know, not everybody's going to attend them. I think it will probably take a bit of time before we get back to those max capacity events that we have. But we are getting there. You know, I think people forget that we've been almost 21 months in this. And, you know, just like through you guys alone, think about how much you guys have been through, how many houses you've moved through in the last like year and a half. It's like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, I guess as we kind of start to tail end this chat, I mean, obviously we've touched on the local bands, and we've had a little bit of touchings on the internationals and as well that have been kind of coming out. I mean, as far as Chelsea Larsen, what does the future hold for you? Obviously, creativity can be stunned. You're doing a lot of different things. Your guy's Cat Pookie is an Instagram rock star in himself. So, yeah, how are you keeping your sanity during these pandemic times, and what's to come?
Answer one, a good beer. Keeping sane, I mean, I won't lie, there's some days where I question my own sanity, but I think it's just about keeping, you know, close to your family and friends, you know, those who matter most. You know, it helps having, and I'm not just saying because he's with me, but an amazing husband. He's been like an absolute rock through the shit that I've gone through in the last year. Keeping in touch with family, you know, literally on weekends we'll have a video call because both my brothers are in the UK, so hi guys. And you know, like literally playing games, whether it's Left 4 Dead or, you know, doing a virtual version of like a old school paper drawing type game. You know, it's keeping in touch with family and friends has been a huge thing for me. Listening to music, you know, there's some days where you wake up, you're like, I don't feel like doing anything. Listening to music always helps because it always just somehow fits in with the mood. And that's what I love about metal, because no matter what mood you're in, there just always seems to be something that fits. Another thing for me, and my kitty, my daughter, my child, the star, famous. She keeps me sane as well with lots of cuddles and crazy videos. But yeah, in terms of the future, I'm definitely looking to get my YouTube channel up and running properly, you know, releasing content a lot more often than what I have been doing. I think now that we've you know, moved into our place and things are starting to settle down, that's going to become more of a priority for both of us. You know, we've even discussed the possibility of a collaborative YouTube channel. So who knows, maybe that'll be something, you know, where we're both doing stuff and we can both kind of drive audiences to both of our content. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. So working hard at work. So sometimes, you know, being in marketing, you constantly have to be creative. So sometimes you get home, you're kind of like, okay, I don't want to think of something clever and snappy or make something pretty. I just want to sit and veg and watch Harry Potter or something, you know. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the future. I think 2022 is going to be quite a big year in terms of music and whatnot. So watch the space.
Yes. Definitely excited. And, you know, God knows we need a little bit of like a musical release every now and again. So hopefully things kind of start to get back to normal. We've been patient and we're all doing our things. So we will see how things pan out. But yeah, Chelsea, thank you so much for taking some time out to chat to us. I know Alec just would have pulled you onto camera otherwise, but you know, it's nice. It's nice that you cooperated. So this has been absolutely lovely. And yeah, just keep on rocking, and we will keep on listening. Awesome. And yeah, Alec, what do you say, man? Are we done for another week?
100%.
You let me do all the talking as usual.
I think this has been the best interview we've had to date subsequently because of this. So maybe we should bring you on. I think we might have found our new co-host. Oh,
I'm happy to come on anytime. It's always an absolute pleasure. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to chat and listen to my nonsense.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we will be back again next week, same time, same place on the interweb. Again, thanks so much for joining us, Chelsea. Thanks again, Alec, for making this happen. We'll be pulling things back down to Cape Town with another familiar face, but we'll keep that quiet for now. In the meantime, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because that helps. And yeah, just keep supporting local SM metal. Hopefully this pandemic hoo-ha will be over soon enough. Thanks very much, guys. Have a wicked week ahead. Later.
Thanks. Cheers.